Hello everyone, welcome to EduTap and welcome to another session of Perspective 360 Degree where we are going to do current affair based answer writing practice in a detailed and structured manner. But before we begin the session, please confirm in the chat box if my voice and the video everything is fine or not. Just write yes or no in the chat box so that I get an idea about it and we can begin with the session. Fine, so everything is fine. Okay. So let us begin with the session. And the topic that we are going to cover today is basically related to financial inclusion. And why we are discussing this topic? Because, first of all, it was there in the news. And secondly, it is something that has also been highlighted as a part of the RBI annual report that has been launched very recently. Now the thing is that very soon I'm going to take dedicated session with respect to this report. We are going to extract some important areas as a part of this report that are relevant as far as the descriptive paper is concerned. But if you want to have the overall analysis with respect to this report that is very relevant as far as your exam is concerned, I would strongly suggest you to watch this session by Kritika ma'am, which is RBI Grade A B 2025 annual report, and it was conducted 5 days ago. So if you just you search it on YouTube, you will easily be able to find it. And all the points, all the information that we are discussing as a part of this session has been taken from the RBI annual report only. So whatever initiatives with respect to financial inclusion I'm going to discuss, no doubt there are other initiatives also that has been launched by the government. But we are going to focus only on those initiatives that have been added as a part of the RBI annual report. Fine, so that you have a good quality content and data with respect to it. Now let us move on to the expected question for today. And the expected question is discuss the key initiatives and measures taken by the RBI during 2024 to 25 to promote financial inclusion and enhance financial literacy across various segments of the population. Now, if you try to identify the important keywords as a part of this question, you can easily see that the first keyword is financial inclusion and the second keyword is financial literacy. So we are going to break the body of our answer in a similar manner. The first part of the body is going to be dedicated to the financial inclusion and the second part of the body is going to be dedicated to the financial literacy, and that is going to be your approach. I hope it is clear to you. Now let us see the introduction that we can write about it. Fine, but before that I am assuming that you already have a good idea that what do we understand by financial inclusion. And by the way, if you see last year question that was asked in RBI Grade B descriptive paper, over there they are asked you the digital initiatives taken by the government in the previous year. So you can see such type of questions are asked, that what has been the key highlights or what have been the key initiatives that have been launched by the government with respect to certain segment. And since financial inclusion is discussed as a part of the report, so this domain is also very important for the exam. Now what we were talking about financial inclusion. So basically financial inclusion, those of you who do not know, is nothing. It basically means to provide financial inclusion means to provide the financial services to the unprivileged, or you can say underbanked sections of the society. So underbanked sections of the society or the unprivileged section of the society, what do we provide them? We provide them different kind of financial services. For example, it can be with respect to banks. Fine. For example, with respect to the accounts like deposit accounts, whatever account it is you want to open with the bank. It can be related to the pension also, the pension facility that is provided by the banks. It can be related to the insurance also, the insurance facility that is often provided by the banks. So different set of financial services can be there. The aim is to provide these financial services to the unprivileged section of the society. Over here, unprivileged section of the society keyword is very important. It is not for somebody who is very rich, Fine. Who is somebody who does not belong to this section, because that is not the primary objective of the financial inclusion. Fine. So it is very important that you know what is the goal of the financial inclusion. And now, as a part of this session, we are going to see the different initiatives, as you have seen as a part of the question only, that were taken by the government in order to promote this objective of financial inclusion. Fine. So let us go through it. So basically, first of all, we are going to write the introduction based on the question that has been asked as a part of our expected question. So the introduction, in the introduction, we can write like the financial inclusion and literacy are the twin pillars of building an inclusive, resilient and empowered financial ecosystem. So as a part of our introduction, we are catering both financial inclusion as well as financial literacy. Then, as per the financial inclusion index that measures the extent of financial inclusion in the country, basically the financial inclusion it improved from 60.1 in March 2023 to 64.8. Fine. So you can see the financial inclusion index has improved. So basically it also highlights that up to what extent we have been progressing as far as the financial inclusion is concerned, that how far we are able to promote the access, usage and quality of the financial services to the unprivileged section of the society. And over here we can write that the RBI has played a proactive role in expanding the reach of formal financial system while simultaneously enhancing public awareness and literacy. So this is what you can write as a part of an introduction. Of course, what you can do firstly, you can write your introduction in your own manner also. For example, firstly you can define financial inclusion, then you can write something about financial literacy, maybe some data with respect to financial literacy, and then afterwards you can write a connecting line by highlighting the role of RBI. You can write in that way also. There can be multiple ways to write the introduction to this answer. I hope you are going to experiment that. Now let us see the body part. First of all, let us see the key initiatives that were introduced by the RBI in order to promote the financial inclusion. And the first one is assignment of lead bank responsibility. Now the question is, what is lead bank responsibility and what is this lead bank scheme that was launched by the government in 1979. So let us talk about this scheme in a very brief manner. The thing is that if you talk about India, fine, India has different states and India has, within those states we have different districts. Now, in order to promote the objective of financial inclusion in 1970s, what the government decided to introduce this lead bank scheme. Now, what is going to happen as a part of the lead bank scheme? Basically, what the government is going to do, for example, this is a certain district. And in this district, there are different types of banks. For example, bank A is there, bank B is there, C, D and E. Let us say 5 to 6 banks, major banks are there in this district. Now what the government is going to do, government is going to see each and every bank. They are going to see the progress, they are going to see the balance sheet, they are going to see all such type of criteria with respect to a certain type of bank. And one bank that is dominant and bigger as compared to other banks, that bank is going to be chosen as a leader. And that is why it is called as what? It is called as the lead bank scheme. That one particular bank, let us say in our example, it is bank A. He is going to be chosen as a leader. Now, what is going to be the job of this leader? Basically, the rest of the bank, that is bank B, C, D, E and F, they are going to coordinate their activities with this lead bank, with this leader bank. And bank A will help them to ensure that they are performing their work as far as the by keeping in mind the objective of the financial inclusion. Let me give you an example, do not worry. Let us say there is a certain type of scheme that is run by the government, that is just a hypothetical scenario. Let us say the name of the scheme is district credit scheme. Now let us say as a part of this scheme, the most important objective is to promote the lending to the agriculture sections of the society, that is the farmers. Fine. So that is the objective. Now what the lead bank is going to do, lead bank is going to make sure that this scheme happens in the most effective manner. So what it is going to do, basically first of all, it is going to plan. It is going to plan out that how this district credit scheme is going to be implemented in that district. Then this plan is going to be discussed with the other banks also, that is banks B, C, D, E and F, whatever it is going to be discussed. And then what is going to happen, all the activities, all the processes are going to get coordinated among all these type of banks under the leadership of the bank A. And that is what the lead bank scheme is. And this is how what is going to happen. This is how this district credit scheme that I told you is going to be implemented in the most effective manner. I hope it is clear to you. And that is what the lead bank responsibility or the lead bank scheme ensures. Fine. So this is something that is highlighted as a part of RBI annual report very importantly. So basically it says that if you talk about the present time, in present time, how many banks are there under the lead bank responsibility? So basically it says that in total there are 14 banks. Out of this 14 banks, 12 banks are public sector banks and 2 banks are the private banks. Fine, which is J&K Bank and the ICICI Bank. So these banks are there. So basically 14 banks in total are there that have been assigned this lead bank responsibility, and they are basically and because of this lead bank responsibility or the lead bank scheme, basically the financial inclusion objectives are being promoted as a part of around 782 districts across the country. So that is the first thing that is highlighted as a part of RBI annual report. Do you need to know it? The answer is yes. I would strongly suggest you to know it. Why is it so? Because you can write it in your answers as a part of your financial inclusion. Fine. You can write it in the functions of banks also. Fine. You can write it in this scheme can be used in different type of answers. And as a part of it, this data is also very easy to understand. You just need to know that keep 14 banks है, 14 बैंक है, बस ये याद रखना है. 782 नहीं भी याद रखना कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, नहीं हो रहा अगर याद ऐसे रख दो कि more than 700 banks. Fine. ऐसे भी लिख सकते हो, more than 750 banks. Fine, you can write in that manner also. But this 14 banks is important. This is a factual knowledge and I want you to know it. You can use this information in different types of answers. Point number 2. The point number 2 is regarding the persons with disabilities. Now, what is the guidelines with respect to that? Basically, RBI recently it basically issued the guidelines in order to promote the access of digital services or the digital payment systems for the person with disabilities also. And in order to do that, what it did, basically it advised the different kind of payment system participants. Payment system participants basically mean what? Payment system participants means basically the banks and the non-bank entities that are acting as a payment providers. Fine, that are acting as a payment system providers. And basically RBI advised them to review their payment system and device in terms of accessibility to person with disability. If you remember basically that when I told you that what do you mean by financial inclusion, I told you that the job is to provide the financial services to the unprivileged or marginalized or the underbanked section of the society, and person with disabilities are a part of that. So we cannot afford to ignore them because they need to be provided certain type of privileges. They need to be provided certain type of mechanisms so that they can have access to the financial services in both equal manner as well as under the term of equity also. So the equity and the equality both have to be maintained, and that is why we need it, and that is why RBI basically advised the bank to do that. Fine. And based on that, once the advisory was issued, when the advice was given, after that also the RBI reviewed that whether the banks are following that advice or not. So for that purpose, when the RBI was able to review it, based on that, they saw that basically many banks, they had established different kind of devices like POS machines, all such kind of things, and different kind of mechanisms that were used by the person with disabilities. So what you need to remember, आपको ज़्यादा नहीं याद रखना है, आपको बस इस पॉइंट में ये याद रखना है कि RBI ने ऐसी कोई गाइडलाइन इशू की थी, बस इतना याद रखो और बहुत है. बस ये याद रखो, you need to remember that RBI had issued such type of guideline with respect to person with disabilities, and up to a huge extent they were accepted by different kinds of banks in a very simple manner. That is your job that you have to remember. Now the next point. The next point is National Strategy for Financial Inclusion. The RBI annual report highlighted that basically it released the National Strategy for Financial Inclusion, and that also has played very important role in promoting the financial literacy as well as the consumer protection. Apart from that, under this National Strategy of Financial Inclusion, because of the National Strategy of Financial Inclusion, we were also able to attain this. Somehow we were also able to work towards this goal of universal access to financial services in every village. Now what is it basically? Basically one of the milestone of this National Strategy of Financial Inclusion is that basically we have to provide banking access to every village in India within a 5-kilometer radius of 500 households. Fine. So मान लो ये, for example, these are this is a village that has around 500 households. So within the radius of 5 kilometer, we need to provide them the banking service. That is the idea. Now, basically, the thing is that there is a very good news. The good news is that basically we have been able to fully achieve this target in 27 states and 8 union territories as on March 31st, 2025, which is a very good sign. Do you have to remember this? The answer is yes. What do you have to remember? क्या आपको ये याद रखना है कि ये 5 किलोमीटर 500 हाउस होल्ड, ये नहीं भी याद रखा तो चलेगा, बट आपको ये जरूर याद रखना है कि हमारा ऐसा कोई टारगेट है, वी हैव अ सर्टेन टाइप ऑफ टारगेट दैट यूनिवर्सल एक्सेस टू फाइनेंशियल सर्विसेज इन एवरी विलेज. बस इतना याद रखो. एंड आपको ये पता होना चाहिए दैट वी हैव 100% अचीव दिस टारगेट in 27 states and 8 union territories. That is this. That is it. This is all what you need to remember, so that basically you can write it as a part of your answer. Now let us move on to the next part of the body, that is regarding now the financial literacy. So we have seen the initiatives regarding financial inclusion, and now we are going to see it with respect to the financial literacy. So over here, the first point is activities conducted by the financial literacy centers. What do you mean by financial literacy centers? Basically, financial literacy centers are set up by lead banks. I hope you remember what are lead banks. I just told you the whole story regarding lead bank scheme. Fine. So these lead banks are the one which that set up these financial literacy centers. And what is the job of this financial literacy centers? The job of this financial literacy center is basically to conduct different type of camps in different villages or in different districts with respect to the financial literacy. So what they do, basically they keep on conducting different type of seminars or workshops or one-to-one counseling with respect to attainment of this financial literacy targets. So that is the job of that. And what does the report say? The report says that as on December 31st, 2024, there were 1,508 financial literacy centers which conducted a total of 1,31,220 financial literacy camps during the April to December 2024. This is something, the target that we have been able to achieve with the help of the advancements of these financial literacy centers. Fine. So that is the idea, which is a very key point, very important highlight with respect to the financial literacy. The next is observing financial literacy week. So basically last week we celebrated this, in the last few months we celebrated this financial literacy week also, that is from February 24th till February 28th. And what was the theme of this financial literacy week? The theme was basically financial literacy, women's prosperity. Fine. So that was the theme of it. And what is the purpose? The purpose is very simple. Why we are promoting such type of weeks, such type of days, all such sort of things. Basically, the primary purpose is to spread the awareness as a part of it. Fine. So that we can spread the awareness. So basically, during this week, the RBI undertook a centralized mass media campaign so that basically they can distribute the different kind of, I would say, they can promote the different kind of financial awareness messages of the theme among the different general public. Fine. So that is the idea why we observe this financial literacy week. Now the next point. The next point is regarding Center of Financial Literacy. Now what is the purpose of Center of Financial Literacy? Basically, if we talk about financial literacy centers, they are set up by lead banks of the district. Fine, they are set up at the district level. But if we talk about the Center for Financial Literacy, basically they are set up at the block level. Fine, and they basically cater about 3 blocks, and they are usually set up in collaboration with NGOs. So if you open the RBI website, so you can search the Center for Financial Literacy in your area also. For example, I have searched it in Chandigarh, and you can see there is one Center for Financial Literacy over here, and you can see all the details are there. For example, the state, the district, the sponsor bank, the NGO, and the address. Fine. And which blocks are being served. So because Chandigarh is a union territory, and over here, these are the blocks that have been written Chandigarh, because it is a small city, right? So in different type of cities, the different type of blocks would be mentioned if you change this state. So that is the idea, that is the purpose of Center for Financial Literacy. Now what is something that is highlighted as a part of RBI annual report? So basically, as a part of RBI annual report, as of March 31st, 2025, a total of 2,421 Center for Financial Literacy have been operationalized across the country. Fine. And they have played very important role basically in order to promote the financial literacy all across these different blocks. Fine. So that is the idea. And since we are also collaborating with NGOs as a part of it, and because of this initiative has become more efficient. And whatever camps, whatever initiatives are taken under this Center for Financial Literacy, all these initiatives are free of cost. Now the next thing is RBI कहता है. Now what is RBI कहता है? RBI कहता है basically nothing, but you can see it is again a very important initiative of RBI with respect to the awareness regarding the financial literacy. So for this basically RBI uses different kind of mascots also. For example, you can remember this name Mani Kumar, Miss Money. So these type of RBI uses mascots in order to basically spread the messages under the RBI कहता है. So that is the idea regarding it. Fine. And the next one is awareness campaign for children also, which is very specifically for children. And basically as a part of the Catch Them Young initiative, basically RBI brought this awareness campaign for children, and the aim is very much similar. There is no difference with respect to aim, that is to promote the financial literacy. And for this RBI has introduced new mascots. The mascots under RBI कहता है is Mani Kumar and Miss Kumar. And when we talk specifically about the children, then over here RBI has brought new mascot, which is Junior Money and Mini Money. Fine, which basically focus on child-based type of messaging. Fine, that so that children are basically are able to resonate with the objectives of this financial literacy. Now lastly we have the conclusion. So as a part of this conclusion, we can write like through a combination of technological driven solutions, grassroots outreach and targeted awareness campaigns, the RBI has reaffirmed its commitment to build a financially inclusive and literate India. By addressing both access and awareness, the RBI is not only bringing more people into formal financial fold, but also equipping them with the knowledge to use financial services responsibly and securely. A very straightforward conclusion. The point is that basically see, this session was very straightforward and was easy to understand. Maybe few of those schemes that we have discussed, they could be new for you. For example, lead bank scheme. But most of the students will already be knowing it. But the main purpose is basically that what you can do, you can choose some kind of examples. For example, RBI कहता है and lead bank identification scheme. Fine, all such sort of things. So whatever you feel important, you can add it as a part of your notes under the financial inclusion. So this question of financial inclusion was very specifically asked last year as a part of NABARD exam, also NABARD descriptive paper, and in the one of the previous years they have also asked it as a part of RBI Grade B. So it is important for both the exams. So it makes sense that you have some kind of quality content, especially if the content is from the RBI annual report, which is an authentic source. So that is going to be helpful as far as the value addition is concerned. So do write your answers, and this session is very straightforward, so you have the opportunity to express yourself. Fine, because when the I would say the content is difficult to digest, then at that point of time you feel difficulty with respect to expression. But when the content is easy to digest, you can just remember the main keywords, the main data, and you can write it very easily in your own words, in your own language, and that basically help you to test yourself that whether your answer writing is going in the right direction or not. It is going to help you. So that is it from my end. So this is the blueprint that you need to follow. Write your answer in the form of introduction, body and conclusion. As I always say, introduction should be 10 to 12% of the word limit. The same with the conclusion, and rest of the word limit for the body part, where you will write your body in the form of heading and subheadings. I hope it is clear to you. Now this is the question, the answer of which you have to write in the comment box. So the word limit is 400 words. Fine. So that is it from my end. Thank you so much and all the best.